Okay, we're on.
After 9 o'clock, after 9 o'clock.
Yesterday he said at work, the window is a very kind way down and touch the test, the field Kerebe. The Rebbe Hashem, everybody knows that nothing over to the sea is tough nation of that. Rebbe Hashem, they tough nation of that. Hashem is not big. People get it right, the reason why, because the Rebbe is the Lazor in the middle of the Baruch. See this thing up, being Chafei Shvat, everybody realizes it's one of the things that we saw about the Rebbetzin, those of you who actually saw the Rebbetzin, we'll just tell one story, which is the Rebbetzin was very, very worried many, many times about the Rebbe's health. And I heard from my mother-in-law and all the young lady that Tavshin Chafhei, on Tishrei, never went to his mother's house to make sure that Nisha came, etc., etc. And all of a sudden, the Rebbetzin arrives. There's a kind of arrived. And she was worried that the Rebbe, for example, had not eaten the whole day anyway, number one. Number two, that the Rebbe wanted to stay there overnight. So she said she was very adamant telling the Rebbe that Abba Engel went home that night. There are many stories of what happened in Tachshalam test. She wouldn't let any of they wanted to take the Rebbe to the hospital. After the heart attack, she of course said that my husband has always been in charge of himself, do against his will. Not going to do so, and as a result of that, the Rebbe was able to stay in 770. And she was all pushed to Krinsky about finding doctors. The doctors didn't know what to do there, and finally our wife came along. But then our wife called up, and they fixed it for Hashem. They were able to take care of the situation. But the Indian of making sure that the Rebbe should be physically healthy. In 770, every Tuesday night we knew that the Rebbetzin would come and visit her mother. She also did, but Tuesday night everyone knew that she would come, and she was finished with the mother. She would call Leibel Grona. Leibel Grona would tell the Rebbe that the Rebbetzin was outside, and the Rebbe would go home with the Rebbetzin. This went on the whole Tavshin Test and Tavshin Lamed till Kamadina passed away.
She driving her car, right?
She drove in her car, yeah.
Who was uncomfortable?
Hoyle.
Rebbetzin drove in her car.
Talking about Chok Tess. Hoyle. It was that Yud-based Tammuz, the Rebbe caught a cold, I think. And the Rebbe was mamish, Chok Tess. It was terrible. I remember the Rebbe used the napkin. Anyone who knows ever had a whole pile of napkins? Never did I ever see that the napkin should get used up except for that Shabbos Kippur. I mentally have to put a whole bunch of new napkins. It was terrible. And I remember giving out Belzer Chosid, I forget the guy's name, by Mincha, when we davened Mincha, he said, when I went to Beryl Rivkin ol Hashom, and I'm Rivkin, when I'm Shira Tevedash, when I guess Chosid, and I'm Shab, and I'm Shab to the Rebbe, and he said, ich verstehe nicht da. But was it keiner, ich kenne Zizor zum Rebbe, so so der zweite Halbteure nächste Woche. Was da für all so gehandige Woche? Which means, why did someone go over to him and tell him, he doesn't have to hold it this week, he'll talk next week. So Beryl Rivkin, I remember saying these exact words, he said, by the Rebbe Rashab, I would have no doubt to do it. By the Friedrich Rebbe, I would have no problem. By the Rebbe, keep my mouth closed. But it was terrible. It was coughing and this, and nobody knew what to do at the end of the day. So by here Yoin, so Sunday morning, it was Seder. What was that? Yeah, what was that? Either it was Seder or it was right after davening. Finished davening, let's see, it started davening 9:30. We finished davening usually about 10:15, 10:20. And I see something very funny. I see that the Rebbetzin was driving up. I thought it was a Sunday morning, this never comes Sunday, never. And they're garnished, so we weren't interested. So we went to eat breakfast or whatever it is, and then back to Yeshiva to learn. Years later, talking to my uncle Label, so the Label, do you remember the Sunday morning that Tavshin Test? I said, oh boy, do I remember. What had happened? Label wanted to get something done. What are you supposed to do? So he told the Rebbetzin that we'll do the following, this will be the next project. You come in the morning, I'll get Zelikson, and we'll all go into the Rebbe, and try to, get something, And that's what happened. The Rebbetzin was number one, Zelikson was number one, the Rebbetzin was behind him, and Labor was number three. He banged on the door, whatever they get the door open, and all of a sudden, cling, cling. The Rebbe opens the door, he looks up, so Zelikson tells the Rebbe that McKenna Chen who's in Besmedrish, when he was coughing, he said, yes, I got a bad cold, whatever it is. So he asks Zelikson, what's with the tongue? I'm going to check, he's giving some medication. So the Rebbe Leisner said, they used to sheep, the different Gersois, what the Rebbe said, I don't know exactly. But then Then she said to the Rebbe, "Don't Gemara." The Rebbe smiled and said, "Don't get Gemara." He said, "Steht mit Mann mit the Schussler, Reifel Rappes." As a Reifel hat a Schuss, and Rappes. So the Rebbe says to the Rebbe, "No, what do you want to do?" So first he takes out a stethoscope. He's the hero, not basically, because he put it on. And he thought, "I'll get top of the Rebbe, my business told the Rebbe, you need antibiotics. Break the antibiotics and lay it on the dish." So lick the half the dish. So the Rebbe, and it was horrible. Weeks. We put it in a unifying in the house, and we put it in that she came. But everybody realized Sunday morning that she wanted somehow, have this done. And same thing with the shoes. Everyone knows that Rebbe had wore the same shoes for how many years? 26, 27. So I remember someone, where the story comes from, asked that everything. At the end of the day, I remember very clearly, Tavshon Lamadal from Chamadina passed away. So he take this time. So I can take this. The Lamaya was at Aleph Tavis, and around the Seilah it was muddy. So when the Rebbe came home to Daven Mincha, he saw that the whole bottom of the trousers was full of mud. That was Lamaya was Tuesday. Wednesday the trousers were muddy. Thursday the trousers were muddy. Friday the trousers were muddy. Shabbos the trousers were muddy. Sunday the trousers were muddy. Tuesday, Monday, Monday I think also. Tuesday morning they were clean. All Monday Rebbe gets a shiva, Rebbe gets a shiva. No one was going to tell Rebbe. She got up on Tuesday. Plus a third thing happened, which I asked Chaim Baruch, who was sitting on the Kabreya. Anyone who looks at the Rebbe's talis before Tavshon Lamadal, at the end of the talis, all of the little, how do you call them, knots are cut off. But after Lamadal, he didn't. So I asked Chaim Baruch, why not? He said, very simply, well, then the Rebbe used to do it. And afterwards, no one did it anymore, so they didn't get trouble. I was just telling you something, I'll tell the story over again. The Rebbetzin had a friend called Mrs. Kleinberg. Kleinberg, her Zayda, Rebbe, was both doing very well. We did to get of Oda. He said, Rebbe Koil. And he had a stroke. The husband of this lady, who was very funny with the Rebbetzin, had a stroke. And he called up the Rebbetzin. The wife called up the Rebbetzin and told him, my husband had a stroke, the doctor's going to operate. Frag my Rebbe, what's the time? She said, wait, the husband will come home and I'll ask him. So the Rebbe comes home, the Rebbe says, so about an operation. Next day she calls up, she's the doctor's tiny. They can operate, the guys are gone. The Rebbe said, question is over. She said the Rebbe said many times, and we used to ask a second time. The man framed the people. He says, you won't let him, I'm not going to ask him again. The Rebbe says that's it. The Poil, the Rebbe says no operation, the Rebbe says before Purim. The Rebbe said, it's ein gesund, and dann sitzen zum Seder mit allem. Finally, the third day, the doctor said, okay, you want to take responsibility for your husband? It's your problem. She calls up the Rebbe, she says, what's result of it? So the Rebbe said, there's an injection you can give. Tell the doctor, you need the injection. So the lady says to the doctors, is there an injection? So they ask, how do you know about it? What happened to Fred? The effects are very serious. Sometimes it works, and sometimes you can finish what the guy is. And you want to take full authorization, sign a piece of paper, then we'll do it. But other than we ain't going to do it. She told him that. Okay. They said, don't worry, it's all together. They gave the guy the operation, they gave the guy the injection. 3 days later, he already got out of the coma, and the patient was expressing about say they pulled the element. So Chalameid, she calls up the Rebbe, this is Kleinberg. She said, no words I have in my mouth. So when she came home, the Rebbe came home, she said that Mrs. Kleinberg called up and told her that the Rebbe smiled and said, what's it think you made? I argued the man. What did she think I was going to kill? How do I know the story? Because she went so, the Rebbe was so much smaller that she called him Harakov. And she said, Harakov, you will remember I'm said Zachen. Aber Azazach. Such a thing as like, without any, and she had to talk to someone. She knew the only person that could keep a secret was Hanukkah. You realize that other people also. There's a famous story of Zalman Garari told that Evetz Neveis HaMashiach dates in my Geshtub. So she says, some Zalman Garari. He says, why don't you tell him? I'll read to you. Chaim L'chaim, Nisham L'maliyah, and I do the better. Even like Chis HaMesim, there's a time in the Rebbe, when you go Leino, L'chelik Yemir, is on Seder Mamas, Chaim
probably not. But if I work, then maybe I will. I want to give $20. Hold on a second.
Of Tess. The first night of Pesach. The minute was. We stayed at 70 the whole of Pesach. We were able to go upstairs to the Rebbe's Seder. And we walked, Mamash, up with the Rebbe. As the Rebbe walked up the stairs, the Bacham, about 20 Bacham were walking together to the Seder. And then as the Seder went on, there was more and more people came. The Seder finished the first night. The second night was not raining. The first night, Rebbe was going to go home. So normally, when Rebbe walked out of 770, he would turn left, right, to go to Brooklyn. This time, he turned right. So he followed with a few hundred people. And he went up Kingston. Nobody knew why the Rebbe was going around that way. He should be going the other way. I remember Yale was coming also. And Rebbe walks up, and he goes, then he makes another trip to Union.
Right.
Right, to Union. Well, the Colonel, the old Colonel, once upon a time was. Nobody knows where they were going. Till we finally realized what was going to happen. Evanson was upstairs by the Seder. Sometimes Pearl Unit used to take it off. But this time I said, it was going on. Anyway, so she'll go with it. So all of a sudden, the Pearl with doors, Evanson comes out, and she starts walking in the Rebbe. So the majority of us, so forth, that without them, the Rebbe can't walk, he can't do it, etc. So they heard that the Rebbe asked the Rebbe to be gedenkst, etwas from the Taten Seder. And she started talking. Do you remember from your father's Seder? This is what he told me, 1969. Friedrich passed away 19 years ago, so she asked the Rebbe, does she remember anything from her father's Seder? And she started talking. And he started saying, this. Of course, there's no tape recorders, video.
You sure?
Huh?
You sure?
The Bible hasn't come out into the open. I'll tell you, Meister, the Rebbe by the Seder. In the middle, the Rebbe started singing a lick. That was a year of Protestation in Shalim or something. What thing did sing that year? Protestation in Shalim. And Zalman Duchman on our show. Of Tess, and Zalman Duchman got on the furniture. And all of a sudden, you saw the Rebbe poke out her head through the doorway, like winking to the Rebbe. This guy jumping on the furniture. They were like turns around and looks at us like, please go down, sit on the floor like everybody else. One thing I did hear once about everyone knows they used to talk against carpets. So someone asked the Rebbe, her house, you don't see any carpets. She said, the man is a king, able to have regular carpet. Und der das zugegeben hat, ist gebrochen mit beiden Händen. If my husband, the Rebbe was against carpets. I know what that means. Wall to wall, they got some business and said, if I would put down a carpet, my husband would have come and taken it, ripped it out, and thrown it outside. I heard another story, I don't know if it was a big public story. The Rebbe on the second floor had an office. Normal sometimes eat supper upstairs. Everybody knows that the Rebbe on the desk there were piles of letters and nices. So she told me that ain't table. She leave me a space I should put down on a soup. She made me have a place. Maybe put down a soup bowl that she could have a plate of soup. Unbelievable story that ever spoke to us. What year was it? After Ches was in what's the Shabbos to be. The never spoke about it. Al Rebbe Shimon says the beginning is to take water from Beresh from Eretz to Beresh Miriam on Motzei Shabbos. And the Rebbe said something which everybody was like shocked. From the Malagosta, the Chibs Kemel, Gizen of Zoltom. Something he mentioned the Rebbe. And nobody understood why all of a sudden the Rebbe threw these few words in. That week the Rebbe spoke a lot. Then there was a Paisa once with eggs. Basically the eggs wasn't Paisa. So they once brought, one of the eunuchs, two things happened. One of the eunuchs did the whole wall against the stove till the roof. He did with silver foil. Usually you do half, but it's like walking in like, what this guy is. I don't know for sure. So the Rebbe is standing with the Rebbe, and the eunuch is standing there. So the Rebbe says to the Rebbe, "Al's kosher." So she said, "I'm bringing my eunuch." The eunuch is like stuck in the middle there. But then they brought in, they asked us about Kate and Egg, Gebash and the Eir. So I said, "Where did you get that from?" It's not like there was a lot of things else in here. Gebash and the Eir. Yeah, hi.
Doesn't exist anymore. No, but those don't exist anymore. No, they only exist in music. Which is 3 times faster. Transfer you can transfer stuff. Most recipes are still just
First of all, in regards to Chofei Shvat, there is a very unique expression from the Rebbe, in the Sikha, which is called Kuntris B'cha Yivarich Yisrael, Tafshin Nun Beis. It was printed this week in the Dvar Malchus. This week's Dvar Malchus Pashas Mishpatim, but it's in Lashon Kodesh. It was originally printed in say Sichas Tavshin Beis, it's in Yiddish, and they alternate 1 week Lashon Kodesh, 1 week in Yiddish. And the Sichas starts off with something very, very special. Chav Beis B'Chodesh is connected with the Yin of Bracha. This is Chav Beis of any Chodesh. As is hinted in the number Chav Beis, which is the same letters as B'Chav. B'Chav from the Beis turned around as B'Chav, which hints to B'Chav Yivarech Yisrael, which is the pasuk in Parshas Vayechi. This is the bracha that Yaakov Avinu gave to his grandsons Ephraim and Menashe. But again, the Rebbe says that Chav Beis of the month is connected with bracha, as is alluded to in the letter, in the number Chav Beis, which is Oisius B'Chav, which alludes to B'Chav Yivarech Yisrael. Which means that this is a day that from it, through it, with it, Yidden, B'nai Yisrael, are blessed, gebenched, b'chol inyonim, and all of their inyonim. Furthermore, the day of B'cha itself is a gebenched day, it's a blessed day, as is understood the Pashtus, the Pirish of the Pasuk, B'cha Yivarech Yisrael, which means that through their bracha, the bracha of Ephraim and Menashe, so all B'nai Yisrael are blessed, are gebenched. That's what B'cha Yivarech Yisrael means. Through you and through this bracha which was given by Yaakov Avinu to Ephraim and Menashe, all B'nai Yisrael will be blessed. So too, in regards to this day of B'cha, of Chav Beis, it itself is a blessed day, and through it, Yivarech Yisrael, Kol B'nai Yisrael, all Yidden are blessed. And then here the Rebbe continues as follows. B'cha is such a bracha that from it comes additional brachas. Another bracha, and another bracha, ad ein case, ad infinitum, and ad soif kol ha'olam, until the end of the world, which includes also soif shel olam b'loshen hel and v'hester, which includes also olam meaning hel and v'hester, concealment, that this is what the bracha of B'cha Yivarech Yisrael brings with it. Nocha bracha ad ein keitz ad soif kol. The ad soif kol ha'olam, and koilel ha-soif shel olam b'loshen hel and v'hester. These are unbelievable words. And so this is what the day brings with it. So everybody should be zocheh to see brachas ad ein keitz, the ad soif kol ha'olam poshet begoli b'toiv ha'nira v'ha'nigla. Amen. Chaim to live bracha. You have also in this sikha amazing things, unprecedented expressions of the Rebbe, and in it the Rebbe explains what the day of Chav Beis Shvat is all about, starting with Yud Shvat Tovshin Yud, then Yud Aleph Shvat Tovshin Yud Aleph, and then Yud Aleph Shvat in Tovshin Yud Aleph. What did I say? I said Yud Shvat Tovshin Yud, Yud Aleph Shvat Tovshin Yud, and then Yud Aleph Shvat Tovshin Yud Aleph. All of them, but they're talking about Bechlal Yud 10. So 10 is perfect number, Shleimus. But Yud Aleph is higher than that. And the whole explanation and explaining Pashut what and the Rebbe is saying the Tkufis of this Doyer, of course, starting with the Frierdiker Rebbe, and then all of the various Tkufis, the various periods of time which continue from Yud Shvat Tovshin Yud, and the Rebbe clearly speaking about the day of his own Messias, Yud Aleph Shvat, Yom Shenitlu HaMo'eres from Doyer Ashri, unbelievable, unprecedented words. That this is the day, just like it said by Chai Elul, was the day that Nitlu HaMo'eres, that the luminaries were hung in the sky, which is a Wednesday. Also, Chayel, in the previous room, was Wednesday. So it's talking about the Moeris, the luminaries of the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe. Here it says Nitlu HaMoeris, talking about the Rebbe himself. Isn't it? The Rebbe clearly says Nitlu HaMoeris. The luminaries were hung in the year of Tafshin Yud, Yud Aleph, etc. But ultimately also explain and going through the Tkufas, and that the period which began from Yud Aleph Shvat, Tafshin Yud Aleph, and then Chav Beis Shvat, Tafshin Merches, and the day Chav Beis, the number Chav Beis, is twice Yud Aleph. Just amazing words. You have to take the Sikh and learn it inside. Mamish, amazing words, unprecedented words, clearly speaking about what the time is all about the Shleimus Ha'aveda of Bnei Yisrael and Am Yisrael and Klal Yisrael, and being mashlim and making the world all ready for the revelation of Moshiach, with all the various details, that the world as it is, Tachten, is ready and prepared for the Gilui of Moshiach, etc. They're also expressing about what Chav Beis Shvat is about, and Chav Beis Shvat, you have the stalkers of the Rebbetzin is for only one purpose, only one thing. The stalkers of the Rebbetzin was to go and to bring about the Gula Shleima. The Rebbe said that very, very clearly. The Rebbe also connects in this Sikha in one of the Ha'aras, Yud Aleph Shvat and Yud Aleph Nisan, in a very amazing way. The month of Shvat, we all know that on Yud Aleph Nisan we say, that's what we say in the Nasi of the Chodesh Nisan, that Yud Aleph Nisan is Nasi L'Bnei Yosher. The Rebbe spoke about it many, many times in Maimorim and in Sichos. Shvat, Chodesh Shvat, it says in Sifrei Kabbalah, is also connected with Chodesh, with Shevet Osher. The whole month is connected with Shevet Osher. So Yud Aleph of the month, so every day really is connected with Shevet Osher. And so also, of course, Yud Aleph. And so the Rebbe says that Yud Aleph Nisan is connected with Yud Aleph Shvat. Yud Aleph Nisan is the Leida, is the day of the birth. And Yud Aleph Shvat is the Nesiyas Begilui. Yud Aleph Shvat is Nesiyas Begilui. So it started on Yud Aleph Nisan on the birth. On the birth, the Rebbe was talking about himself. And the Nesiyas Begilui is on Yud Aleph Shvat. Then the Rebbe emphasizing that Chav Beis Shvat is twice Yud Aleph. So the Rebbe connects himself, the Frierdiker Rebbe, and the Rebbetzin, and all in the highlight, the climax is Chav Beis Shvat B'chol Yivarech Yisrael. So I'm saying again, it's amazing words. Take the Sikha, learn it. I must confess that I haven't learned it thoroughly myself, but they are very, very inspiring words and very clear, very clear.
What's the twice Yud Aleph?
You wanted us to read that exactly what the Rebbe says, is that twice Yud Aleph.
Chav
Beis hu achad also b'kiflayim, right? Which is achad also yom, which means that in Yemei HaChodesh itself, which is also Chodesh HaYud Aleph, it's twice Yud Aleph in the month which is Yud Aleph, it's the 11th month, which means that twice achad also, in addition to it being in the Chodesh of Achad also, Yesh Leima, that this brings out the Tachlis HaShleimus of number 11, which number 11 is uniting 10 together with 11, which as explained before, what 10 is and what 11 is. 10 is Shleimus, huh? Yeah, one second, just the whole background is before also. And it says, Yesh Leima, yeah, so this expresses the Tachlis HaShleimus of Achad also, which unifies Eser with Hakadosa, that also in the level of Giluyim and in the level of Mashpia, which is Yoim, which is both Achadosa as it is, which is Maile Eser Tachtoinim, and so also Achadosa Mitzad Atzmai, which is Mitzad Etzem HaMashpia, Achadosa B'Taros Namish Mitzad Atzmusa Yizborech, so it's Mechaber both the Tachten with the Mashpia, and all Madregas until the Madrega Atzmusa, you have to continue, you have to learn the science. It's possible to give over. It's just, that is learning, isn't it?
One of the things that the bottom line is he says that Chos Beis is a Nayat Kufa.
That's right.
The whole Nayat
Yes,
Kufa, from that is the Kufa of Mashiach, and from then on is everything the same.
All of these quotes that ever referred to.
Everything was different from then on.
100%. 101%, no question about it. So while we are talking about Taka stories of the Rebbetzin, which over the years became more and more publicized, and the Rebbe also there's a Kovetz Chopei Shvat, which was again reprinted last year, which I've got is founded today. The Rebbe talks about that the Frierdiker Rebbe was the one that was spoken about years ago, was the first one to really highlight the cheshivos of L'Shei of Bnei Yisrael, etc., etc. And referring to sikhs of the Frierdiker Rebbe, etc. And we see Bismanenu also had the Rebbe had a few times a year. People don't even remember. Unfortunately, that the Rebbe had a number of times when the Rebbe said sikhs downstairs in the shul, and all the men were outside, and the women were inside. So that was before Rosh Hashanah, a special bracha for the women. It was, of course, by the convention of the Sheikh Chabad, which was Shabbos before Chim Sivan. And then, when the girls of the school finished school at the end of the year, which was June time, etc., so the girls, but then also the women, so there were 3 times a year that the women had the Rebbe to themselves. The Rebbe, you can see pictures of it. And the men, either if you were lucky, you got to sit in the Weiber shul so you can see what's going on. Before the days when you had proper, closed circuit television to see it in other places, it was very primitive in those days. But that's how it was. The women were in the shul and the men were outside. I just want to. I feel it's a schus to tell of a story which was sort of a personal interaction that I had with the Rebbetzin. And a Maisa Shoya Kachoya. As is known also that when the Rebbe walked home on Shabbos from 770, when the Rebbe walked to Shul on Shabbos, so there were always Bochrim who accompanied the Rebbe, but the Rebbe shouldn't walk alone, first of all. Actually, when the Rebbe walked during the week, there was no accompaniment. Shabbos was always arranged because people didn't know necessarily in the morning. But even anyway, well, that's not negay. But who had the schus? Which Bochrim had the schus to walk with the Rebbe? So there were people, memunim, monitors who took care of it, and it was usually chsanim. If you were a chosen, so you were not going to be a bocher for much longer, so you were given the schus on a particular Shabbos during your time when you were a chosen. So when I was a chosen, so the Mumuna came over to me and he said that tomorrow morning, Shabbos morning, so you'll walk with the Rebbe together with another bocher. Huh? He says the Rebbe usually leaves home, if it's not Shabbos Mevarchim, and it wasn't Shabbos Mevarchim, at 9:30 a.m. approximately, but you come already be there at 9 o'clock. In those days there was a house next door to the Rebbe, which was bought by the Zalman Gerari. And I heard that the Rebbe said that he shouldn't think of moving in the Koil.
What?
That he shouldn't move in. But anyway, but that house became the headquarters. The reason why he bought it because it came to a certain time when there was shmirah outside the Rebbe's house 24/7. And during the week, all night, there was a bacher, a particular bacher, who sat outside in the car. Actually, it was after a certain tkufa when there was terrible harassment. That's one time I remember when the Rebbe mentioned the Rebbetzin. I think the only time that I recall the Rebbe mentioning them by Fabrei was talking about that time with a certain group of people in a certain suburb not far from Kranheim who were harassing Lubavitch, etc., v'chulu, in the late 70s, etc., or the mid-70s. And they were sending in the middle of the night, they were sending fire trucks and places. And the Rebbe at one time expressed himself, says that Achmonas of my Balabosnes. I remember that time the Rebbe said it. So there came a point that there was Shmira outside, and then one time he was, actually this Bacher himself was accosted by certain people. Anyway, so a house was bought next door, and so therefore the house was used for whoever's doing the Shmira, that they were in the house next door to the Rebbe, they were able to watch it 24/7. So anyway, so we were told that you can go into the house, there were Bochrim, Shabbos, the Shmira, 24 hours of Shabbos was done by Bochrim. And so you can come at 9 o'clock, go inside, and you'll be able to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and then at 9:30 approximately, the Rebbe will be going to 770, but be there at 9 o'clock. I came there at 9 o'clock, the other Bochrim was there, the Bochrim were in the house. And when I walked into the front door, so I saw a stick on the ground in the doorway. It was like, a stick from a broomstick or something like that. And so I thought that it's dangerous that it's there. I kicked it out of the way because somebody should trip on it. I came to the house before I had a chance to take a cup of tea. So the Bacher who was watching the Rebbe's house called out, 9 o'clock. The Rebbe gave. It was early. The Rebbe already opened the door and came out of the house. So we ran to go follow and walk with the Rebbe. Lo and behold, we see that the door is locked, that very front door, and the door handle is broken. And then we realized this is happening in split seconds. Realized that why was the stick there? The stick was there to keep the door open. So I said, and the Rebbe was going. So I said, okay, let's go out the window. But if you know the houses are over there, it's like one flight up, like jumping out of the thing. So go out the back door, and my heart is pumping because the Rebbe was going, and we're stuck in the house. So one of the Bochrim very quickly, so he took out from his Sitzenbendel a key and he started fiddling in the lock, and he opened. We ran out, and the Rebbe was already down the path and he was already crossing President Street. I had heard from my Uncle Label a number of times how the Rebbetzin was so concerned about the Rebbe going to 770. Especially in the times when you go during the week. There were many times, especially before Tafshin Chafei, the Rebbe used to walk to 770. Whenever he walked to 770, the Rebbe would tell him, Ruf up in Stub and Zog as ich bin angekommen. Call out at home and tell the Rebbetzin that I'm in 770 safely. And she was always so concerned. So I had this in my mind also, that the Rebbetzin is going to be worried. So I looked up. So we ran to follow the Rebbe, and I looked up, and sure enough, there the Rebbetzin was by the outer door. You know, there's a door, and then there's a door to go into the house. I think it goes to the left, right? The outer door, the glass of the Rebbetzin was there, and she was standing and craning her neck to watch as far because she didn't see anybody. I heard that she used to make sure that the Bochrim were there, and then she would go inside. And I heard all of this before, and this was in my mind. So I looked up, and there she was, and to the best of her ability, she was watching the Rebbe's back. So I motioned to her that, we're going. We're going. But that was I saw. I mean, from the story that I heard, I saw it with my own eyes. Actually, today I saw a story which maybe others saw it. It was posted on the Fabrengen chat from Lippe Brennan. And he says this happened in the 70s. I never heard the story before. He said that he was once. It was Friday night. It was late Friday night, and he had eaten. So the Shabbos on the block, like across the street. Maybe it was by Yehuda Glosowski, who lives across the street, I don't know. And then he came out, and he sees that the Rebbetzin is on the porch. She's outside of the house, and she's on the porch. And she sees him, and she calls him over. And she asks him, does he know if the Rebbe davened Ma'ariv already? And he said, yes. He says, was there a Ma'ariv tonight? Was there a Fabrengen tonight? He says, no. She says she's worried because the Rebbe's not home yet and coming with to make Kiddush. Could you please go and find out what's happening? So he runs off to 770, and when he comes to Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, another interesting thing, what happened when we got to Eastern Parkway, I'll tell that later. So he saw that the Rebbe was stuck in coming home. The Rebbe was already almost by Brooklyn Avenue, and being followed by Bochrim. So the Rebbe was already on his way home. So he runs back, he wants to tell the Rebbetzin that the Rebbe's on the way home. The Rebbetzin had already walked from the house to the corner of Brooklyn and President. So she runs over to the Rebbe and says, the Rebbe's on the way. And sure enough, you see the Rebbe, but the Rebbe was like 2 blocks away. And she's standing there, and he wants to get away. She says to him something like, it's not, he says, you're not going to stay here with me. It's not nice to leave the lady on the street at night in New York. That's how he tells the story. But he didn't want to be there when the Rebbe's going to come and meet up with the Rebbe. So, what's he doing over there? He felt very uncomfortable, but that's what she said to him. So he had no choice, so he stood at distance, and he wanted to do it. So when the Rebbe came closer, so he really, he got out of the way, hiding in bushes, and then the Rebbe walked the Rebbe back into the house. But I'm just saying that when we came to, we're walking behind the Rebbe, and we get to Eastern Parkway and Brooklyn Avenue, the big apartment building 706. Many Shalom here. So his family used to live down on the ground floor. They had windows mamish to Eastern Parkway, and apparently they used to wait as kids by the door, by the window, to watch the Rebbe go by and to say good Shabbos to the Rebbe. And I saw how they call it, these little kids, I don't know if he was one of them, they're calling out, Rebbe, good Shabbos, Rebbe, and I smile from ear to ear. A smile from ear to ear broke out, and talking about Yehuda Blosovsky, so there's a story which also was sent around some time ago, which I actually saw again by Aaron Blosovsky. He told the story that his brother Yehuda Blosovsky lived across the street from the Rebbe, and the house he lived in was owned by Avram Pashan, his wife Zayda, who actually built a mikveh at the back of the house, and he wanted that the Rebbe should use that mikveh instead of having to go to the Union Street, to the ladies' mikveh in Union Street. Well, the Rebbe never used it. We Bochum used that mikveh. Anyway, the story is that one time he was there, it was some afternoon, he was there, he had lunch there, and he comes out, and he's by the Rebbe's house. The man who looked after the PA system by the Fabrengens, Mr. Zweig. An electrician, he was an electrician, he looked after the PA system. So, I don't remember all the details, but this was, he called him over and he said, he was called over, he says, I need help, I have to fix the air conditioner in the Rebbe's house, and I need somebody to help me take the air conditioner out of the window, something like that. Right? Rabbi Lusotsky, the man, you never heard the story? I had it done, first time, okay, so we'll get you the clip where the brother is telling the story. Anyway, so he says, don't ask me, I'm not going to the Rebbe's house, I'm going to the Rebbe's house. He says, I need somebody to help me, I can't do it myself. And he was arguing back and forth, he didn't want to go to the Rebbe's house, but they had no brain. He says, I got to fix the air conditioner. Anyway, so he went in and he took the air conditioner out, and then he had to wait until Mr. Zweig finishes with the repairs. The Rebbe was there in the room. I think she was busy with somebody else, talking to somebody. And there, I think he's standing around. I don't know if he sat down even, maybe he did sit or whatever. And he noticed there on a coffee table, he saw there a Tanya, a white Tanya, I think he said a white Tanya. He said he saw things inside and some papers, and what, I don't know, but he saw a Tanya and he was curious to have a look, what's the Tanya? The Tanya is a Tanya on the coffee table over there. And he's thinking, maybe he's going to have a peek what's in it. He started to move his hand again, and his hand was getting closer, and it's almost going to tell you. When the Rebbe saw, he says, "Nay, the darkness check." He says, "No, you have to touch it." And he got all embarrassed, and he says, he probably got red and white, whatever. And she right away said to him, right away, she said, maybe I can give you a drink. He says, "Nee, he says, "We can drink in the Rebbe's house." Ich habe erst gerecht bei meinem Bruder am Kegen, weint, und ich habe gegessen und getrunken. He said, I was just about my brother, he lives across the street, I ate and I drank. And she said, Take priyatne shchenim. Take, they are very fine, pleasant neighbors. Then he said so that the Rebbe said how she was sensitive to the way he was feeling and was made off of the drink. Anyway, time l'chaim, before you go to Israel, to need a bracha, make a bracha achreina, and please, who's down there? Maybe. So when we have a stay you know, over here. You know, over here.
Rabbi, when were you there? When were you there?